Yeah. So last class I actually forgot to uh, tell something about this this time value of money. Just a second. Yeah. So something was actually left. Okay. So in here we were talking about like different frequency of cash flow. Um, okay, so we were talking about this mismatch of compounding interval and cash flow. Compounding interval and cash. So anybody remembers about this we were discussing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we talked before was like um, there are two things, right? So first is cash flow less frequent than you know. So first is cash flow less frequent. So what does this mean is, let's say if we own one mine, let's say, and for our case, we are compounding every 3 months, and but we are getting the money every, let's say, 5 months or something. So cash flow in 5 months. So we talked about how do we deal this, right? And we said that you know this can be done two ways, right? First is either you just find or interest rate IDAS, which is in terms of 5 months. Or second way to solve this is in 5 months you are putting so much money. So what is the ADAS? Okay, so the amount of money you will be putting in 3 months. It is for 3 months. So either you find the interest rate for 6 months, the effective interest rate, because 3 month interest rate is given. You can calculate what is your effective interest rate, and then your cash flow and your this compounding will match, and then you calculate your different values, or you just calculate that if the cash flow is in 5 months, what is the equivalent cash flow in 3 months, and then again your cash flow and your this what is this, your compounding are matching, so you can calculate your terms like PEF and other things. Okay, so the next thing which was left is the cash flow is more frequent than compounding. What does this mean is, let's say we have our t equal to 0 here, and for example, let's say this the compounding is happening, let's say 4 months compounding, okay, or right, but you're getting money every month. Okay, so cash flow is every month. So in this, is this clear? Like This can happen, right? Like, because let's say you like we own this mine, and the compounding can be every 4 months. But when we sell our product, like the concentrate or whatever it is, from the mine, that can be every month, right? Or maybe 15 days or something like that. So we'll get money for our mine in I mean in less I mean in more frequent way, right? So how to deal this case? Is this clear? Like, what is the problem here?
Yes, sir.
Any? Okay. So in this case, most financial institutions pay no interest or intra-period deposits or withdrawals. So what happens, like in this case, it's pretty simple. Like, we don't get interest for these periods. Okay, so therefore the most common procedure here is to assume that the withdrawals are made at the last compounding period and deposits are made at the previous, the next period. So what does this mean is, um, let's say this is our t equal to 0, and we have some cash deposit every month, and the compounding is happening, let's say here in the 4 month. So this is our compounding. Okay, and this is our cash flow, the black one, cash flow. So this is our 4 months. So as I said, like, no interest will be calculated. Okay, and this cash flow will be deposited, or maybe it will be assumed that it was deposited at the end of 4 months. But let's say you have some expenses to run the mine. Okay, so this is a negative cash flow. Then what you will do, you put it in the previous period. Okay, to be on conservative side, you can say. Is this clear?
So can you repeat it again?
So what I'm saying is, this is the case when the cash flow occur more frequently than the compounding. Okay, what does this mean is, let's say the compounding is every 4 months, compounding every 4 months. But because let's say we are running a coal mine, right? And we are selling the coal every month, right? And we are getting some money every month. Okay, so when we are getting money every month, our that 6 formulas. So 6 formulas will not be valid for these kind of cases, right? And this is the real case. This mismatch kind of thing happen in our real life, right? Like, and our formula will not work here. So in that case, what you need to do is, what I'm saying is, if there is positive cash flow, like we are getting money, then you put it in the next compounding period. Okay. So just so let's say we have, this is first compounding period, second compounding period, third compounding period. And we are getting some cash flow here. Okay, some negative cash flow here, positive cash flow here, some negative cash flow here, positive cash flow, let's say negative cash flow. So what it will do, like when you are calculating the NPV, let's say, in that case, these which are the positive cash inflow, that will go here to the next, next compounding period. And these two guys, like which are the negative cash flow, this will go here. Okay, similarly, this will go, let's say this first, second, third period. So where it will go to?
First.
To the first period, right? And these two will go to second period. Okay, because if you say that okay, this will go to my first period, like the positive one, your NPV will increase, right? And that's not correct. So to be on safe side, we just put it in the next period. Is this clear? So let's say we got some 110 crore rupees here as a positive. So when we are putting it, here, its present value of this money will be more if I put it here compared to putting it here, right? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So maybe we are doing something wrong here. That's why what we do is we put this thing to the next one. But if we are spending money, so in that case it's the other way. Okay, like we put it in the previous thing. So again, our NPV will be in conservative side. I think this is clear. Okay, so we have a simple example here. Can you just quickly solve this thing? The formula, like the one of the 5 formula need to be used here is F equal to, A into 1 plus I to the power N minus 1 divided by I. Okay, so but can you just quickly calculate, understand the problem and, tell me the answer. Or maybe you can put it in the chat box. Is it done? Anybody? Oops. No answer? Come on. Moni, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
You are trying to calculate?
Yes, sir. I'm calculating.
Come on, no answer. Like, did you understand what I said here? Anjali, are you there? Or anybody? So with Vishal.
Yes, sir, we are here.
Yeah. So, like, did you understand the concept here, or like?
10 lakhs.
$10 lakhs.
Yes, sir, like I'm not sure, but I'm getting around that.
But let's say you are getting in 3 years, right? Let's say we just ignore everything. So every month you are getting 26,000, right?
Yes, sir, so at the compound.
26,000 into 12 into 3. What is this value?
And 9,36,000.
Hmm?
9,36,000.
9,36,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it should be close to that, right? Maybe you are correct.
So I'm getting 10 lakh 88 around 88,000, like 10 lakh 88,149.
Okay. Okay, so let's quickly solve this thing. So if it says if deposit of 26,000 are made every month to an account which pays, like this 12% per year, compounded semi-annually, how much will accumulate by the end of 3 years? So first thing is, just to see this problem, what is happening here is every month we are depositing some 26,000. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's say 6. Okay. So this is 26,000, 26,000, 26,000, 26,000, 26 and 26, right? So what we are saying here is, this money, the whole money you are getting in this period, everything will go to the compounding, interval where the compounding is done. So this is where compounding is done. Okay, so now how much is going for 6 months? That will be our A, right? A equal to 26,000 into 6. This is the money we are getting, right? Within that 6 months. Now we have n is the number of periods, right? So how many 3 years? So 3 years means 3 into 2, right? Because in 1 year we have 2 periods, so 3 into 2 equal to 6. Is this okay? And the interest rate is 12% per year. Okay, so what is I? Can anybody tell me?
So 6%?
Yes, 6%. Okay, so if you put these values in this equation, whatever it comes, F equal to
So it's 10 lakh 88,149.
10,88,149, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like this whole thing, you will put it here in this equation, and this will give you this thing. Okay. Yeah, see, the concepts are very simple, but you need to know how to calculate it. That's the thing. Okay. So yeah, so this chapter is done actually. I don't know, like maybe actually last class I was not feeling super good. So somehow I missed this part here. So we are done with this, what is called time value of money. There are many more concepts, but for this class we are going to stop it here. Otherwise it will take, few more classes. So for the exam point of view, you please try to solve all the problems, see how it is solved. As I said, the concepts are very simple, but you don't know how to do it, how to take care of these cash inflow, then it becomes difficult, okay, and you can make a mistake. So please go through all the problems that we have solved. Okay, and maybe in the exam I will modify a little bit, but the concept will be the same. Okay, any question up to here?
So can you like explain the last class problem, like what we did?
Yes, we will be doing that. Actually, even like I was saying, I was not feeling well last class, so I don't know what we discussed there. So I will quickly repeat actually what we did. Okay. So we were talking about the inflation, right? Anjali, can you just tell me what is your mess or the food bill per semester now you're paying?
So I don't remember.
No, like in your hostel, how much you are paying for 6 months or 3 months per semester per year? Anybody? How much you are paying?
Around it's 10,000 for the semester.
So 14,000
For
in this
10,000? Okay, per semester. Okay, so is it the same as in case of your, let's say, when you are in first year? Maybe it was different, let's say, right? So in, you can say 3 years, this food bill has been changed from this, let's say, 9,000 to 10,000. Okay, so and that is because of your inflation, right? Like the price of some item that are changing or increasing, that happens because of the inflation. And we discussed something called inflation rate, which is your percentage increase in price over a time. Okay, so for your case, how much has increased? So 10,000 minus 9,000 divided by it was 9,000 before into 100, because we have percentage increase, and over a period of time. So this can be actually from your first year to your third year or fourth year. In your 3 years, you can say, let's say this is inflation inflation rate this percent. So this percent has been increased in 3 years. So first thing is this inflation, can be per month, because it's over a time. So it can be per month or per year or in 10 years, based on what is our time we are considering here. Okay, so for us in India, our inflation rate is around 5 point something, I don't remember, 1 or 2 or something like that, for 2021. And it is, let's say, 2021 compared to 2020. Okay, what does this mean is the average price of item in India from 2020 to 2021 has increased to 5.1. So this doesn't mean that all the items has increased. Maybe food bill has increased a little bit more, but the price of your laptop has reduced. So, but if you combine everything, what is that value is your 5.1. So this is your kind of your national inflation rate. Okay. So this is what it is written. It varies with a particular currency. So the inflation rate in US dollar will be different than in rupees. And also what type of goods you are or service being purchased. Okay, so are you buying a computer or laptop or your mass bill, right? Like food bill. So it depends upon what type of this thing is, what type of item or service you are purchasing. So it can be different, but these 5.1 which we are talking here is combining everything. Okay, and this is a simple example here. I got it from Oppo. So it says, like the impact of inflation on capital cost in a copper industry. So this is a copper mine in Peru, right? This what is this? Cupela, I don't know. So this mine and this mine, the second mine, Huajun. Yeah. So these two mines they are nearby, but like the price of cost for annual ton of copper produced. So the cost per ton is different, right? And in the same mine itself, with time, how this has been changed, right? Initially it was 3055, but now let's say not now, it was in 1980, this has been increased to 10,800 just because of the inflation, right? So when we are taking some decision for our mind, we need to consider this inflation also. We cannot, ignore this inflation. So this is what it is written. Inflation may become most important factor in a mining investment. Okay, and it can rarely ignore in capital investment analysis. Okay, so we cannot ignore this. Is this clear? So that's why we need to, like consider the inflation in our NPV calculation or present value calculation that we are doing. I hope it is clear, right? And then I talked about these things, right? Like, yeah, and we were talking about this table. So yeah, so what it says is actually, if you have different inflation rate, in the first case, we have 2% inflation rate. Second case, we have 6% inflation rate, and third case, we have 15% inflation rate. So, yeah, so what it is saying is, let's say we have 15% inflation rate. The value of 100 paisa will be decreased to 50 paisa after 5 years. Okay, so there are two things. If the the inflation rate is more, it's common sense, right? Like, so the value of money will reduce more, right? And if you put some time into this, let's say 6% inflation rate, and if you increase your time, with time also the value of money that will reduce, right? Like this 75 or maybe initially 100 paisa has been changed to 10 paisa after 40 years at inflation rate of 6%. Okay, so and how do you calculate what is the value of money if the inflation rate is this much, right? So it's the same formula we are using. Our F equal to P divided by the present value equal to F divided by 1 plus I to the power n. Okay, so So, and we solve this problem, like if the inflation is this much, how much purchasing power 100,000 rupees will be. So just 1000 divided by 1 plus I to the power 20, that gives us the inflation. So then we talked about, there are three type of inflation, or maybe there are three terms we hear. One is escalating inflation. That means the inflation rate are increasing continuously, right? And we have disinflation. Disinflation means we had in t equal to 0, we had inflation rate of 6%. Next year there is positive inflation, but the value is less than the previous one. Next year again it is less than the previous one. Next year it is again less than the previous one. So this is called disinflation. And the third term we use is called deflation. Deflation means like where the rate of inflation is negative, you can say. So they say inflation rate is 2.6% in minus, then we call it deflation. Is this clear? Then we talked about the CPI, how can we calculate the CPI. So if you missed this thing, if we quickly see this example here, it is pretty simple. Like in a particular week, it can be particular week or per month, if we are calculating this inflation. So per month, how much we are spending, or per year we are spending. The total amount we are spending in a particular year, that we calculate, and then we take some year as a base year. Yes.
Sir, then what is the difference between disinflation and deflation?
Disinflation is, like the inflation rate is positive. Okay, so we can say that India is, doing good. So maybe in 2050, or maybe not 50, 2000, let's say 16, 2016, the, let's say, inflation rate was 8%. Okay. Now let's say in 2022 it has decreased to 5.2%. Okay, and it is continuously, let's say, it's not that continuous, but let's say it is decreasing, right? But still today, like the inflation is 5.2%, but it is decreasing rate. Okay. In this deflation, what we have is the value of the inflation is negative. Okay, so it was going like this, let's say, yeah. So in this year, the inflation rate is negative. So this is called deflation. Is this clear? So what happens, like let's say our hand woven clothes were there, right? Like before the machine versus your machine woven cloth. So before, everybody were, like in India, let's say in long back, we were making, or maybe we are making our clothes using our hand woven tools, right? And suddenly some machine came somewhere, I don't know when, and we produced lot of, like, or maybe we can produce lot compared to our hand woven. So in that case, what happens, like the price actually goes down, right? Because of this machine woven clothes. Okay, so if you see the cloth price, suddenly it goes down, right? So we have less consumer and more product. In that case, what happens, the price of the item, it reduces. So that is called our deflation. Okay, and this inflation is, the inflation is there, but it is improving. Okay, like we are doing better. Let's say in US the inflation is, or Canada, let's say inflation is 1.2%, right? Means they are doing good, like the inflation rate is not that much. So it is easier to live a life there, right? Compared to, in India, like where the prices are increasing too high. But if you are reducing from 8% to 5.2%, we are in fact we are doing better here. I think it's clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and we talked about the CPI, and then we said that, how we calculate this rate of inflation. If we know the CPI for 2 years, so you just divide that and subtract with 100%. So that gives you the, this inflation rate. Then we solve this thing, right? Like in 2 years, the CPI is this much and this much, and we calculate what is this percentage. Then we were discussing about this, nominal and real interest rate. So I just wanted to give you an example here. Let's say after graduating from here, you want to, buy a car. Like let's say you got a job and you want to buy a car which is 20 lakh rupees. Okay, and then your friend said, okay, no, can you please give me this 20 lakh rupees? I want to purchase a house. Okay. And he said that, okay, the bank is giving you 6.5% interest. I'll give you 8.5% interest. Okay, 2% more, and give me the money for 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, I will return you the money. Okay. So can you just quickly calculate how much money he will give after 5 years? Let me quickly put it here. So that will be F equal to P into 1 plus I to the power N, right? Okay, so this becomes this P equal to your 20 lakhs that you are giving it to your friend. So this is 20, I is your 8.5%, and N is your 5 years. So if you put this,
30 lakh.
yeah, 30.07 lakh, right? And let's say there is some inflation. Okay, so let's say the inflation rate is, present inflation rate is 5.1%. Okay, so, and after 5.1, with the inflation rate of 5.1%, if you want to purchase the same car after 5 years, can you calculate how much you need to spend? Using the same formula, F equal to P into 1 plus I to the power N.
The 25 lakh 64,000. 65.
Yes, yeah, 25 lakhs 65,000. Okay. So see, like, okay, you gave this 20 lakhs to your friend to buy his house, and he will pay some 20.07 lakh, but ultimately your price has already been increased to 25.65 lakhs, right? So what is the gain you are doing is from 25 lakhs to 30.07 lakhs, right? So this looks attractive. It is more than your, the bank interest. But ultimately what you are getting is from 25.65 lakh to 30.07 lakhs. And no, then you can tell your friend, no, this is not a real gain. I am not going to give you this money, because, if you just calculate what is the rate of, or real rate is from this to this, right? So that will be less than, let's say, I didn't calculate it. Let's say this is 3%. So with the 3%, interest, why I will give you the money? Instead of that, I will buy the car today, and you know, I'll enjoy my life, right? So you can, to take those kind of decision, you need to know what is the real rate of interest. Okay, and is this clear? So the real rate is actually different than what is your, you know, this your nominal rate. Okay, but if you see, if it is 20% interest, like your friend is telling now, then when you say that, oh no, I'm not going to give it. But if you say that, okay, I'll give it 20%, then it comes out to be somewhere, you know, 49 lakhs. Then you will think, okay, after 5 years, let's say I'll purchase the car, I will help my friend, but I'm getting almost double the amount, right? Like your present value of this, or maybe the inflated value of your 20 lakhs is 25 lakhs, and I'm getting almost double of that. So, you know, this amount will be good for my car and also for my house, right? So you can take that kind of decision. Okay, so that is why this knowing the real rate of interest is very, very important, right? Like what is the real rate of interest you are getting? And that so whether you invest or you don't invest, like it, you know, you take decision based on that. Is it clear, anybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So it is a little bit. It was a little bit confusing here because we put this A things. We use, you know, cash flow per year or per period. So let's put this value as P. So this is the initial value we are putting. We have to purchase our car. So that is our P. Okay, and then we have, you know, what is the final value with this. This is in our what is this called, your nominal interest rate. Nominal interest rate I. Okay, so let's say this final value what you are getting after 5 years, which is 30.707 lakhs, is F dash. Okay, and this is, let's say, with inflation, this rate is, let's say, I for inflation. This is I for inflation here. Okay, so this is, let's say, F. Okay, so let me check. Okay, no, what I used is, this is, let's say, this is F dash, this is F. So this is final, you know, the price we are getting. Now, as I'm saying, your 25.65 lakh has been increased to 30.07 lakh. So we need to calculate what is the S here. Or maybe I just say that I real. Okay. I real. This is real inflation rate. So that's why we had three questions here. So here I have said, like, I is the rate of inflation, I is the nominal rate of interest, and IR is the rate of real rate of interest, right? This is what we are looking for. And we have three questions. If you see this here, F equal to, the first F equal to P times 1 plus I to the power n, right? And this F dash equal to, you can say, P times 1 plus I inflation rate to the power n. And because this has changed from F dash to F, that can be written like, you know, that F equal to F dash into 1 plus IR. R is for real rate of interest. Okay, to the power n. So we have three equations, right? If you just put equation 2 in equation 3 first, it becomes like this. Or basically we have three equations, three unknowns, right? So you can calculate easily what is the relation between your, please see this derivation. If you have any question, please let me know. So IR equal to, you can say the real rate of return is 1 plus I divided by 1 plus II minus 1. Okay, this is II is inflation rate. This is our real, and this is our your nominal. So in the exam, or maybe somewhere, let's say 2 values are given, you can calculate the third value. Okay, or maybe this I, if you want a real interest rate I, right? If you want a real interest rate, some IR, and you know that my I, the inflation rate is something, then you can calculate, how much you nominal interest rate you will charge. Okay. Anybody has any question up to here? So then you please see these two problems here. We solved it like using these two formulas. Okay. So using this formula, you can calculate, either one of the, in this case, what is the nominal interest rate you will charge, and second case, what is the real interest rate you are getting. So this is pretty simple. You just put this in the formula and you can calculate. And before moving to that, problem we were solving, I just have this thing here. Okay, so which says, like, this is the cash flow of a mine in crore rupees, right? So how much, the cash flow that is occurring. So first is the how much revenue you are getting by selling your product, and what is the operating cost for your mine, right? If you know this thing, and there are two ways to solve this problem. One is, either you consider the I, or maybe second case, consider the real rate of interest. Okay, so just to give an example, like we have, the nominal rate equal to 14%, and we are saying that inflation equal to 4%. So if you just calculate IR, the real rate of interest, it becomes 9.61. How do you get it? Using this formula here, IR. So if you put I and I, so you can calculate IR. And what I'm saying is, there are two ways to look at the, this cash flow in your mind. And that is, you just go for the this nominal rate. Okay, considering the nominal rate, or you just consider the real rate. And if you just calculate what is your NPV, then the point here is they will be the same, right? Like, so for first example, let's say year one, we have the expenses 104, and revenue is 104, and operating cost is 52. Okay, so if there is 4% inflation, and our revenue also will increase by 4%, and it becomes 108.2, and again next year it will be 4% increase is 112.5, and 4% increase is 117. Okay, similarly our expenses will increase by 4%, and again by 4% and 4%, right? So if you calculate what is your cash flow, this is 52 in the first year, second year it is 54.1, third year it is 56.2, and this is 58.8. Okay, now if we have our the nominal rate, if you just put it 14%, and calculate the present value of this money, this money, this money, and this thing here. Like, let's say you calculate the present value of this 54.1. What it will be? Like, if you bring it to t equal to 0, this will be 54.1 divided by 1 plus your interest rate, which is nominal interest is 0.14. So 0.14 to the power 2, because this is the second year, right? So whatever this value will come, that will be the present value of this thing. So if you sum this, all these present values, it becomes 159.8. Is this clear? How you calculate this present value or net present value? Okay, so just to repeat, we are just adding the inflation here. Okay, in our revenue and operating cost, and you are calculating what is the NPV, net present value. In the second case, we just ignore this, this inflation, and we are saying that we are calculating in terms of our real rate of interest. So if we are ignoring the inflation, then every year we are getting some 100 crore rupees, right? And our operating cost is constant because we are not ignoring the inflation, right? So our cash flow will be 50, 50, 50, and 50 every year. And if you see, calculate the present value of all these things, let's say what will be the present value of this one here, PV equal to 50 divided by 1 plus 0.0961 to the power 3, right? So whatever this value will come, if you add this up, okay, you'll get the same value. Is this clear? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if please, I will suggest you to take a screenshot of this and also the screenshot of this. So we are going to, I'm going to explain this problem in the next class. I was thinking like we can finish it off. So can you please take a screenshot of this and try thinking about this problem? Okay, this looks interesting. So the concept is here. Okay, if you understand this concept, you can solve this problem. Okay, so let's stop it here. It's already 9 o'clock. Yeah, and thank you so much. Let me quickly take the attendance.
Thank you, sir.